we are actually focusing on how to do research for an equestrian merch or e-commerce store. So a little bit different than what we're usually talking about. Usually we're talking about horse farms and marketing and sip and rides and all that, those are all great, but this time we're going to focus a little bit on e-commerce for a change. So, and this could actually apply to brick and mortar commerce too, a lot of this. It's not just e-commerce, but the main focus is e-commerce. So before we start, I'll just introduce myself, even though I think most everybody here knows who we are, but some people will be listening to this on replay and stuff. So my name's Tina Derby, and I own Christina Derby Consulting in Ocala, Florida. And I'm here with Chris Allen, my colleague, who owns Dark Horse VA in Arnold, Missouri. And Chris and I offer various marketing assistance to people, such as website design, digital ad creation, email campaign development and management, budgeting and business plan development, appointment setting and customer follow-up, pitch deck creation, and assistance with capital raises and customer relationship management systems. So sort of anything that touches on sales, marketing, or business, we have a hand in and can help with typically. So today we're going to talk about looking at best-selling designs on various marketplaces, because when you get started and you want to start selling merch, again, either online on things like Etsy or TikTok or just your own Shopify store or whatever, or even if you have physical commerce, if you have a shop like that's part of your farm or whatever, you really want to start, before you start making products or buying products, you want to do research to see what is selling. So there are nicely enough, some pretty easy apps and pretty easy ways of doing research. And it is, I think it's very telling when you go through this process, because you start to see patterns and you're like, oh, okay, I see these 5 horse t-shirts sell all the time in different variations, and it's good to, you have to find a happy medium between being unique, but also selling something that a lot of people are looking for. So it's sort of this balancing act. You don't want to sell something that nobody's looking for, maybe really unique, but if nobody's looking for it, that's not going to sell. You also don't want to be one of 8 million competitors selling exactly the same thing. So you're going to find a happy medium. And so let's see. So Etsy. So Etsy is one of the best places to do market research on what is popular at any given time. And as you can imagine, because the world changes over time, and what is popular changes over time. So it's good every maybe 6 months or so to go in and to do some research on whatever it is you're interested in selling. Maybe it's funny horse shirt or equestrian graphic tee or best-selling horse shirt, whatever it is. And we can go in later if we want and do some more in depth. We can actually go to Etsy and run some of the searches, but we want to actually go in before we start selling anything and do the research and see what is popular and what designs are popular, that kind of thing. Another great place, of course, to do research is Amazon. They make it very easy because any of these places, they're going to put the most popular items that are going to come up first when you do the search. So if you search for like horse t-shirt on Amazon, it's going to show you, it'll show you sponsored items. So you got to watch what's sponsored, not sponsored. So sponsored ones, you don't really need to pay that much attention. That's just people that have purchased ads to promote their stuff. But the organic listings, any of these platforms like Etsy, Amazon, Redbubble, etc., they're going to put up the ones that are most popular, that sell the most, because of course they make a commission every time something sells. So they're not going to show you the ones that don't sell. They're going to show you the ones that are really popular. Redbubble, I don't know if anybody here's heard of that, but that's a popular print-on-demand platform. TeePublic, Zazzle. Zazzle's been around forever and a day. Very popular platform for print-on-demand items. Pinterest, also a great place for anything visual. So you can look there. It's a little different because you don't really so much purchase through there. It's not a marketplace like Etsy, but it is a great place to see what is popular. And obviously, you want to always keep an eye out for what's popular, particularly trends, new trends. Because if you can jump on a new wave as it's just rising, because they rise and then they fall, right? Trends come and go. And so if you can find a new trend that's just starting, and that at Pinterest is a great place to start to spot those trends, then that can give you a little bit of a jump start on other people on the competition. So there are, of course, some tools to help with doing the research. Now you can just go on all those websites and you can just research and just automatically they're going to tend to serve you the most popular items first. So that's a good place to start. But if you want to get a little bit fancier, you can go to places like Google Trends, which is a website, and you can put in things like funny t-shirt or rodeo shirt or whatever. Western design, vintage Western shirt seems to be a popular one, which I hadn't seen that like a few years ago when I was doing a lot of this. That wasn't really so much of a thing, but it is now. Maybe because of that Yellowstone show. I don't know, but seems to be a thing. Trend Hunter is a good place to look. Pinterest Trends is very good, especially as it says here, if your audience is female or lifestyle focused, which if you're selling horse merchandise, it's kind of both of those things. Design Inspiration or Dribble are also popular places to look, and you can see what professional designers are making. So it gives you a lot of ideas and inspiration and a lot of good things to follow. T-shirt specific research tools. Now, a lot of like obviously you can sell anything from shirts to hoodies to mugs to backpacks, right? There's a lot of things that are popular, different types of products, but t-shirts is sort of one of the mainstays. And almost all of us have t-shirts that we wear all the time, especially horse people because we're in barns a lot. So Merch Informer is, and a lot of these are paid, like Merch Informer that tracks designs on Amazon. Spy AMZ also tracks on Amazon. Everbee for Etsy, which I really love this tool, Everbee. I've used that a lot. This is a browser extension for Chrome that shows all kinds of sales data, revenue estimates. It's fascinating. And I have that. We can look at that later if anybody wants to. Really is just it's so enlightening. You're like, oh my goodness, okay, I can see this thing is making a lot of money. I want to do this and that other one that look cool because it might be a design. You're like, oh, that's so pretty, but they've got like no sales, and so you're like, oh, okay, guess I won't do that one. So these are really wonderful tools to use. Another thing, of course, you want to do is to study social media trends because again, we talked about try to jump on trends early. So anything like Instagram or TikTok. You can look at hashtags like t-shirts of TikTok, funny shirts, barrel racer life for more niche things, Arabian horses, any of those kinds of things. You can also look at clothing that are worn by people on posts that are doing particularly well. And you want to pay attention to things like colors, the fonts that are being used, the designs. And you also can look at what influencers or micro creators are wearing. So that's important to know who those people are. And that's the kind of thing that, of course, we'll all talk about and share information on. Okay, here's a creator you want to pay attention to. They're really big. And then you kind of just focus in on what they're doing. TikTok has a search bar. And so you can go into search in TikTok and you could search for any of these sort of horse related niches, not just these, but these are some ideas, right? Horse riding, Arabian horse, show jumping, blah, 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 right? It's all listed there. Or any of the other ones, just spend some time trying different things and seeing what comes up. And then you can tap on top to see the most viral posts, the most viewed and engaged ones. And this is actually good also for when you're making content for TikTok, because you want to pay attention to what's really popular and what people are paying attention to. And then, of course, you can also tap on videos to explore more broad content. And also joining communities, of course, is wonderful. Facebook groups are wonderful. Reddit, I don't know if any of you are involved in Reddit, but that's very, very large and has very uh, powerful. It's not a cult, but sometimes Reddit people together, the Reddit subgroups, they'll act like it. They're very, very, it's very intense communities on Reddit. um, Horse forums a little bit, but not so much. Really, Facebook groups for horses is probably the biggest one, but there for Reddit, especially for not the professional horse people. I think there's more professional horse people on Facebook, but if you're looking for amateurs and stuff, which if you're selling merch, you definitely are looking for amateurs because that's the vast majority of people that will buy merchandise are going to be amateurs, not just because there's so many more of them than professionals. So that's a good place to look as well. And basically, you just kind of want to pay attention to what people are, interested in, what they want to see, what they don't want to see, et cetera, et cetera. Like these days, with so many people being down on things like spurs or whips or anything that sort of has a unpleasant nature regarding horses or horse training, things like bucking broncos and stuff, I would think that's probably trending down. I don't know that for sure. I'd have to look, but I wouldn't be surprised. Whereas things with like hearts and horses being cared for and, being well loved, I would think those would tend to be trending up right now. But, again, that's just off the top of my head. That's the kind of thing that I would want to go and really research. Um, and that's what we're talking about. And then, of course, like anything, as I always say, because it's just the truth, when you're doing marketing, nobody has a marketing crystal ball that I've ever known of. So the way you figure out what works and what doesn't work is you test. Testing, like think of yourself as a scientist. If you're going to do marketing, it's so much about just putting stuff out there, throwing spaghetti against the wall, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. Now, the beauty, of course, of these days is that you can do print on demand. So unlike the old days where you had to like literally go to the shop and print up a bunch of t-shirts and then hope that some of them sell and you had a whole bunch of money put into inventory. Nowadays you can just come up with a nice design which really doesn't have to cost you anything, and then you can put it on to a mock-up of a shirt or a mug or whatever, and then you can post that out on places like TikTok. You can post it if you like into Facebook groups, those kinds of things, and just start seeing what gets reactions from people. And if you post stuff and it doesn't get a reaction, try something else. Or you might try posting it somewhere else. You might be posting it somewhere that you don't have enough traffic to get a reaction, because so much of marketing is just, it's a numbers game. So you figure that like conversion rates online are usually 1 to 2%. So if you want to get 1 or 2 reactions about something that you've done, you typically need to show it to at least 100 people just to get 1 or 2 reactions, and then maybe a sale as well. But the numbers have to be pretty big. So if you show it to 10 people and you get no reactions, well, don't be surprised, because you really just didn't even show it to enough people to make a difference. So you really are talking about big numbers of many thousands when you're talking about online marketing. And of course, if you have a little money and you want to start running some ads on Facebook, Meta, then that's also a great way to test it, because you know that you can get it out in front of people quickly, and within a few days you'll have really good data back as to whether it's got traction or not. And you spent $20 or whatever to test it, and that's a reasonable amount of money to spend to get a test. And yeah, that's about it. So all right, questions, comments, concerns, anybody want to see Everbee, et cetera, et cetera? Yes, Deborah.
Okay, for I don't understand this, but I'm sure you do. For a lot of my people are in Spain and Australia and New Zealand, and they're all over the world. So if I created something that I thought might sell, what would be the best platform to put that on that is international?
Yeah, Printful is really good. Well, okay. So platform to put it on where they could purchase it would be something like Etsy is excellent. You could put it on Amazon. It's wonderful. People will purchase from all over the world on Amazon. I don't know about
Okay.
Redbubble. I'm not sure. I think maybe Redbubble, but I have to double check that more. The first ones that I would focus on really would be Etsy and Amazon and probably TikTok. I think TikTok's available in most of those countries you talked about. So, and that would be plenty to start with.
Okay.
Like that'll keep you plenty busy.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Welcome. Anybody else? Or am I that good? I'm such a good teacher. Lisa
You are so good.
excited. Look at Lisa. She looks like, oh, Lisa just like gonna run away. All right. What are there? Got to be other questions. I wish I were that great of a teacher, but I don't. I'm not.
Most of those things that you were talking about, Redbubble and the other ones, I've never even heard of them, much less
Yeah.
I'm on them. And
Yeah.
you just got me to get TikTok recently. I'm not sure I can deal with
You
more. I don't have
to.
time.
You don't need to deal with the other ones. If you can just do one of them. Just do one platform. Pick a platform that you like. And I think TikTok's a great one because that also applies to your horse business, right? To the riding and all that. I would just say do that, get that right, and then we'll worry about the other ones later. Because if you can't get one of them right, you're not going to try to get a whole bunch of them right, right? Just pick one and do it. That's what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tina, how many people do you want to attend this Monday night thing? Would you like word to get out to all the horse ranchers
Yeah, I think
in
it's
my
good.
area?
Yeah, I think it's good that it gets out. And if we get to the point where there's too many people and we can't get everybody's questions answered, then we'll deal with that at that point. But yeah, I think that it would be nice for people to at least that they know it exists, right? Yeah.
Yeah. You know what, I was thinking of putting one of the TVs down in my arena and having the Zoom call for Mondays and invite some other horse
Mm-hmm.
ranch owners.
Yes.
So maybe you
great.
could get some clientele that direction.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. Whatever we can do to help people, I think with Chris and I both, it's what we do all day. So I think we can help a lot of people because this is
Yeah, for
everybody
sure.
use. Yeah.
You guys are the amazing duo. You might bicker, but you're still the amazing duo.
As long as we don't actually carry out any of the things we talk about. We won't. We love it. We love each other. We have a good natured bickering, I think, hopefully. Yeah.
Mm.
So, yeah, no, but we would love to help anybody that wants it because this is the kind of thing, back in, as you know, Deborah, back in the old days, we didn't have the chance to have this kind of help. You were on your own. That's
No.
it. When I had our farm,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have anybody to talk to or help me or give me advice. Just sink or swim. So
Yep.
I would prefer not to leave everybody else to their own devices.
Oh, you're so precious.
Well, it's just,
Mm.
it's fun. And I love you guys. And it's more fun
We love you
with other
too.
people, right? Like this is the best way
Yeah.
to do it. If you're gonna, because business is hard enough, as we all know. Like business is not easy for
Yes.
anybody. Even Elon Musk
Ask
does.
Lisa. Just
Yeah,
ask Lisa. She'll tell you.
how hard it is. It is. It's not easy for anybody. And so, yeah, the better and more fun we can make it and cry on each other's shoulders and then celebrate the good stuff together. Hey,
Yeah,
do
I
not.
know. And we have to stick together. We're in a real decline right now in just about everything that we can rejoice in.
Mhm.
So if we if we can stick together and just rally to each other's joys, it will be a good thing. Very good
Exactly.
thing.
Exactly. Amplifies all the good stuff, hopefully. So
Yes.
yeah. And there is
Yeah.
actually plenty of good stuff. There's actually plenty of folks here that have been doing like a lot of really we've had a lot of successes, to be honest. So that is the
Well,
nice
that's awesome.
that there's a lot of things to celebrate. Lisa's ads, actually, Chris and I just did the analysis on it. Her ads have been crushing it. Christine has
Wow.
a whole myriad of amazing things happening in her life. Danielle has like her sip and rides are just the best thing. I mean, if she could do 20 of those a day, I would totally do it. Like if she could physically just
Yeah.
keep up with it, because there seems to be so much demand. As soon as I send out one email, her sip and rides sell out. Like I don't even have to send text messages anymore. There's just so much demand for them. So like
Wow.
really, the nice thing is there's just a lot of really good stuff, as well as the challenges, right? But there's good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're helping it make it be
We're
so.
working hard. We're trying.
So congratulations.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. It's yeah, I think
Mhm.
everybody's working hard, and it's all group effort, and you know, and thank goodness something's working. Yay. So what else do we want to see? Everbee? Do we want me to show you guys Everbee? It's I I I want to show it to you because it's a really cool tool. So this is for
Okay.
Etsy. And even if you don't even if you're not doing Etsy selling, it's a great tool to just know what's popular. And
Yeah, I don't know how you find all these things. I've never even heard of Everbee.
it's I watch YouTube a lot. It's amazing what you can learn on YouTube. But you have to like literally see what I do is when I'm working on other things during the day, like let's say I'm working on QuickBooks, right, for somebody or whatever. But I'm listening to podcasts and to videos on YouTube. So I'm just sort of learning while I'm actually working. And that's yeah, I guess podcasts are one of the best
I can't
things
do that.
to come along.
I
You
can't
can't do
split
that.
my focus like that.
Ah, okay. Then I guess I'm lucky because yeah, that seems to work okay for me. So sort of just pick up all these kind of crazy things. Um, so okay, so Everbee it's a Chrome extension for Etsy, and what it allows you to do is to see the estimated revenue, all kinds of metrics, as you can see right here, right? But one of the big things is the estimated revenue and the estimated monthly sales of items that are selling on Etsy. So without this tool, of course, you can go and you can see, oh, there's these shirts that look really neat and it looks like they're selling, but you kind of don't know how many. Well, now you can look and you say, oh, the retro wild horse shirt, right? Sells at $54. They sell around 62 of these a month. So these people are making 3,300 a month just off of this one shirt, right? So you're like,
Hmm.
okay, now we're getting somewhere. Like now, and this tool is only like $30 a month. And you're like, my goodness, you know, that's valuable information to have. So let me go in here and let me go back to Etsy. And so you can see for horse t-shirt, there's 235 monthly searches. And if I scroll down here, now even without Everbee on the screen, this is just the natural picks from Etsy. So Etsy's going to show you the things that are selling best because again, they get a commission every time something sells, right? They get a cut. So they're not going to show you the losers. They're going to show you the stuff that's the winners. And this is that one that I was just mentioning where they're selling like 60 of them a month. Is this shirt, that's a not a hoodie, it's a sweatshirt.
So can
Um,
you use the reviews kind of to do this too? Because if you look at the one at the other end, the coffee and horses shirt, it says 52,500 reviews.
yeah, so that's the trick is the reviews are a little bit misleading because that's for the whole shop, the
Oh,
company that makes this. It's not just that shirt, not just the
okay.
item.
Good to know.
You can a little bit, but it, it's not as good, but it's still valuable and it's still usable. But this is just better. Um, let's see. So let's click into this one because this was it's one of the most popular ones here. And so with Everbee, right? So this is we know that this has to be fairly popular because it's one of Etsy's picks, right? And anytime you've got one of Etsy's picks or Amazon's favorites or whatever it is that they, everybody gives their favorites, and it's because these are the ones that they know are selling best and so most likely to sell. Now with Everbee, so like if we go down here and we look, okay, so this company, Alvord Apparel, has over 10,000 reviews, right? But that's for all of their products. For this item, it still has 42 reviews, right? So that's still quite a few actually for, one shirt. And then you can come down here. Obviously, you can see, and it is good to read the reviews because it lets you kind of see what people appreciate about these things. Like, okay, it's super soft, it's well made. And you think about that and you go, okay, if this is something I see people keep talking about, things like this, like the softness or the make of it, the quality, you think, all right, when I'm making my descriptions and my images for my products, I want to highlight that, whatever people keep talking about. And you have to spend some time doing this, which of course, that's the advantage of all of us working as a group. Instead of one of us having to sit there and spend 20 hours doing all the same thing and all of us doing the same thing, we can kind of split it up and say, okay, well, I spent some time, and this is what I found. And then somebody else spent some time and they found this, and we can kind of compare notes. So we're going to just learn a lot faster. But that is the kind of thing you want to look at when you're looking at these things, is the comments that has a lot of valuable information. And you just keep doing it and doing it. And then you'll start to see the patterns, right? You'll be like, oh my gosh, people are always talking about the fit. Like the fit is a really big deal. So when I put in my listing, I want to talk about the fit. But in here is this analyze. I just clicked this little button, by the way. This is for Everbee's analyze the listing. So this now we get down to brass tacks with this. This is all the information that you, without Everbee, you wouldn't be able to see all these details. So we know that there's about 62 of these shirts that sells per month, right? So like, ooh, okay, that's real numbers here. And they're making about 3,300, almost $3,400 off of it. They've had the total sales over 5 months of 320. They've got, as we had mentioned before, about 46 reviews. They have a really fabulous conversion rate. So this is really interesting because a lot of conversion rates are around 1%, which is pretty normal for e-commerce. That's a respectable, normal conversion rate is 1 to 2%. So for this to be 3.5%, this is, people really like this. That indicates that they're really taking to it. And actually, of the people that purchased it, 14, almost 15% have reviewed it, which is actually a really excellent ratio. It means people are really liking it if they're going to take the time to review it. So that is some very good information there. And
so did you pay for this? Did you pay for this Everbee so you can use it? That's why you're getting in there so quick. So where's the little button that says that so you pay the $30? Where's the little button you click so you can get these deeper info?
Yep, right here. Just, it says analyze listing.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
So yeah, no problem. And then we'll go out and let's take a look at another one. As soon as this thing, oh, no, it opened in a new page. Hold on. Okay, so let's take a
So
look.
are you wanting us to buy these programs too?
Nope, I wouldn't bother. Unless you particularly want to. We all know Christine's gonna get it. She probably already did buy it. But
That's right.
But no, you really don't need to because I have it, and so we can all kind of use it. And I'll end up probably, Kristen and I will end up probably doing most of the research on this because we're sitting all day in front of computers. This is literally what we do. And we'll share the information with you guys when we get together, like on Tuesdays and stuff. We can go through it as we want to, and use it as a group because for everybody to buy it just seems overkill. If one of us has it, that should be sufficient for most. And if you want to buy it, you can certainly buy it, but don't feel like you need. Yeah, I just don't know why you would. Yes, we have each other now. That's the good thing. So here's another one of Etsy's picks. And let's analyze this listing and let's see what's going on with this one.
Right in the top, though, it says conversion rate is only 1 point something percent.
Right. Yeah, but that's not bad. Any 1 to 2% conversion rate it's literally, that's a normal conversion rate for e-commerce. That is a normal conversion rate. So if you have a 1.86% conversion rate is actually not bad. But the sales has only had 11 sales on this and none this month. So it's like, this is not, it's got a fantastic review ratio, but doesn't look like, it's probably trending down at this point, because as we said, trends come and
Mhm.
go. And I think at one point this was popular, but right now I would not be, I would not be focusing on making that unless we find some other data somewhere else. That could just be that one shirt. But that's why we look around, right? And right down here, of course, it gives you a nice little synopsis, right? So we've got 0 sales right now, 0 sales, 0 sales. So like, okay. A lot of views, but not a lot of, like, this one's got a lot of views on it, but not sales. But again, it could be that people don't like the design or whatever, who knows. And we've got this one here with Harper. I don't know what even, like, is Harper a thing? This is the same company though. It's the same Alvord apparel. So maybe it's, that also has something to do with it, right? That people probably like that company and have purchased from it and they think it's good. But so I don't even know what's so appealing about
It
this.
says
Like,
custom.
It's personalized. That's somebody's name.
oh, is that what Harper? I thought maybe it was a TV show because I never watch TV, so I miss out on all these trends. But okay, that would make sense. Custom things that people can
So basically,
customize,
we can
always,
tell you anything and you'll believe it.
pretty much, because I won't. Yeah, if you're telling me pop culture, I will believe you because I won't know. Um, okay, so that would make sense because anything that you can customize is always very popular. And that's not that hard actually to do through like Printful. It is pretty easy to let people customize stuff. So it's not 100% easy, but it's not all that terribly difficult. So that's something at some point I wouldn't start with doing that. Let's not begin with that. But at some point, that'll be like when you start going over Cavalettis or whatever. It's, we're going to learn to post and to steer. But then at some point we can learn to do customized items. So when we do the analysis on this, okay, so this had 41 sales. Yeah, not a huge revenue. It's not as much because the other one was a sweatshirt, right? It's more expensive.
Mhm.
But
But a high conversion rate.
yep, exactly. So yeah, very high conversion rate. Again, customizable. So yeah. So that's when you're like, okay, put that in the back of your mind that we like that. That's definitely something to think about. And the graphics a lot of times are not anything all that amazing. That was one of the first things I remember when I started working in and doing apparel for Lala Horse. And was I was like, oh, the graphics are not, it's not like the most beautiful, amazing artistic stuff, right? Like you don't have to be some famous artist to make graphics that are good enough to put on t-shirts that sell. It does not seem to be a very high bar for those kinds of things. Um, let's see, this has been a popular design for quite a long time. This one with a horse silhouette with some flowers and stuff, that's been popular for several years now. And
I
analyze
know
this
people with
one.
that shirt.
Do you? Yeah. I'm not surprised. Yeah, it's been very popular. So 26 sales, $367. Yep. Yeah, almost 5% conversion rate. Like, yeah, people like that. This is just popular. Like I would say everybody should do a version of this. Now you're not going to make it look exactly like this one, but you'll, you know, make your own design but the silhouette and the flowers and stuff and anything with like, at least this is what I found when I was doing Lala Horse, and it may have changed a little bit over the years. That's what we're going to do more research on and find out. Anything with flowers, butterflies, hearts, any of those things combined with horses tend to do very well. That at least that that has been my experience. And again, trends change, but this is seems to be consistent on this one anyhow. Let's see, what's this one? So this one is cute little pictures of all kinds of horses, but I think no sales on this one. Yeah, no sales at all on that one. Yeah, not as
Hmm.
popular. See that it's funny because I'm like, I look at that, I'm like, I think that's so stinking cute. Like I love that, but nope. That's why we use this kind of tool because it's not about what I want,
Mm.
not even about what you want. It's about what the customers want. Here's one like
Does it say when it was? Is there any way, Tina, to find out when that originated? Like when
uh,
it first hit?
the listing was 5 months ago, so it's
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
like they
With
put it up.
no sales. Wow.
Yeah, so not
Hmm.
51 views, just not even Yeah, not much of attraction. And then on this one is interesting because you're like, this is just text, right? It's not even a picture of a horse on here. It's a good day to ride horses, and it's got 18 sales, 840. I mean, like, this is pretty profitable for a shirt, right? Um, so again, that's why these tools and doing the research is so important, because what you necessarily think is not always, it just, people are funny and they surprise you a lot of times on what they like or don't like.
And
Uh,
you were saying if we come up with our own idea, we should test it. You said test one or two.
yeah, you want to test, like, basically the strategy is you're always going to test whatever your idea is, because you never know for sure, right? What's going to work or not. So anytime you come out with a new product, you're going to test it by posting it organically on places like TikTok, Facebook groups. If you have a lot of followers on Facebook page, you can put it on like a story, like Instagram story or a Reels, that kind of thing. So then you can get some feedback, and you'll kind of figure out where you're getting the most interaction. Depends on where you're spending a lot of time. But if you're spending like a lot of time on TikTok, TikTok's probably your optimal place to post if you're willing to do TikTok. I know some people aren't, which is fine. You can still do things like Facebook groups, or you can do, Instagram. That would be a good place to post it. Just it's got to be some place where you're getting enough reaction, you're getting enough interaction that it gives you some data to work with. Because if you have 5 people look at it, that's not enough data. You can't make a decision off that. So it's got to be someplace where you're getting enough traffic. And then once basically the strategy generally is, once you find like, okay, I posted this and this one, like, people are really liking it, you're really getting a lot of traction on things. That's when then you would run an ad for it, a paid ad, because you're like, okay, I know this is a winner. And that's really the strategy. And it's a simple strategy, right? And it's just always the same thing. You're just making new designs, posting them organically, seeing what gets traction. And you're going to have, it's like, breeding horses. You're going to breed a bunch of horses, and you're going to have, like 5% that are champions, and the rest are not going to be. And that's just, the numbers just work that way. So you just know that you just got to keep posting until you find those champions. And then when you do, you put some money behind them. And this is interesting to me. Is this like, if I look at this, I'm like, I wouldn't really love it, but look at that, 24
I think
sales.
it's cute.
People love it. Apparently a lot of people think it's cute. So,
What
but
does
that's
that
why,
one
like, I
say?
don't trust myself, right? That's why, like, I just look at the data, because what I think doesn't really, like, I'd rather have this shirt with this horse, but this is way a better seller. So, yeah, people love that. So this, like, Lisa, you would make, I think, Lisa, for you, me, like, we would do a bunch of Arabian versions of this, right? Instead of just this sort of regular looking horse, would make it more Arabian looking. And this is similar to the one that I did a million of these. I sold a million with Lala horse, but basically I took the same heart design, but I made it an Arabian horse head. And that was very, very popular. Actually, it's interesting because does not indicate the popularity that I found with it a few years ago. But now this is just one shirt from one company. And that's why you have to spend a lot of time doing the research, because it could be that this one company didn't promote it as well. So, it's some other company. So it could still be that this design or this basic concept is still really popular. That's why you have to, like, it takes a lot of time to do the research, because you
Okay,
got to look at a
there's
lot of
this same shirt and it says bestseller on it.
stuff. Mm-hmm.
Is it
Yep.
a different company?
Tez Design. Let's see. Ad by Etsy seller. Let's go see. The other one was Tez Design. Who is this? No, it's the same company.
Huh.
Yeah. And then, like, look at that. That's a beautiful, I don't like horse racing, but that's a beautiful shirt. Like, the artwork on this is beautiful, but no sales.
Mhm.
Um, let's see. So one place to look is here. Now, interesting. That used to be a really popular design a few years ago. But then also you can go to Amazon, which you definitely would go to Amazon. It's flipping Amazon. Of course, you're going to go look at there for anything. And then I would put in, as soon as I get this out of the way, horse t-shirt for women. Let's say we're going to focus on women right now. And now you do have to watch because like this is a sponsored one. So that, somebody paid to be there. So you can kind of ignore a lot of the sponsored ones. And it's interesting that this one keeps coming. Oh, it's because this is sponsored too. I'm gonna say this one keeps coming up. They're paying the heck sponsoring this a lot. So this is sponsored, this is sponsored. So you can kind of ignore those, right? Oh, this is so here's a perfect example. This y'all need groundwork. This like a few years ago when I was really heavy into e-commerce with Lala Horse, this wasn't a thing. Like these shirts, nobody was making this. Now I see it everywhere. Very popular. And this is not sponsored. So this must be doing well because it's this is not a sponsored one. And then this one, I can't even see. This just says life is good. Yeah, it just says life is good. The horse with a little thing, like pretty simple. But that's coming up high. So yeah, they're going to show you the stuff that is popular. Oh,
Life
this
is
one's
Good
not.
is a brand, actually.
Let's see who's selling this. Is it oh, you're right. Life is Good store. You're right. It is. Oh yeah. It probably has a little trademark there. I didn't know that. Things I do in my spare time. This one is popular these days. Which is cute. And you could totally make your own version of this, right? Like I would make my own version of that. I'd make my own version of this, but you got to be careful. You got to work around any sort of trademark issues, but you could still do it. Y'all need groundwork. That one, people are making all kinds of versions of that. Here's a horse with a heart. That's always, I think, anytime you do a horse and a heart together, it's worth a try. I think those do tend to do very well. Here's that classic one. This one is actually sponsored, but that is very popular. Good Day to Ride Horses. That seems to be very popular these days too. Oh, easily distracted by dogs and horses. That seems to be a popular one. I've seen that around a lot lately. Some of these silhouette ones have been doing really well too. There's one that was on Etsy. There was just a silhouette of a horse with sort of the same sort of glowy thing around it. And that one was doing really well. This has been popular forever. It's just basically a heartbeat and then a horse in the heartbeat with horseshoes. You could do your own version of that for sure. That's just been always popular. Oh yeah, here's yeah, this is another one. This is not the one I was thinking of, but this is another one with that sort of silhouette-y, glowy look to it. So anyhow, basically, oh yeah, here's the one I was thinking of. So there's another one of them, right? You start to see patterns. Oh, this just a girl who loves horses. This has been like a popular, most bestseller for a long time. So you could totally make your own version of that with whatever breed you like or whatever, right? But then again, it's not only about what you like, right? It's about what people buy. So, you have to always keep that in mind. Even you might like it, but it's, you're not the one buying it. So you got to make it for the person that's going to purchase it. Just a girl who loves horses and dogs. That's very popular because think about all the horse people that have dogs also. So that's, super. And you can make it with all kinds of different breeds of dogs, right? This one's always popular. See, a lot of these, because I've been doing this for a while, like this has been popular forever. The horse with either like flowers in the mane like this or the bandana, that's just been a winner for years now. This one, I did one like similar to this, again with a horse with the flowers are the hearts and the butterflies with a horse. Very popular. I never did one like that, but like you could do it. So yeah, you just keep seeing the same, you just keep seeing the same patterns again and again and again. And yeah, basically the horse with just the single little thing. Yep, that's been popular a long time. I mean, there's so many of those are so simple. Like I thought when I started doing t-shirts, like, oh, I'm gonna have to be like a really good artist, and I'm not, and it's gonna be hard. And then they were like, oh, that is not really the case. You have to be really good at researching and then just really good at testing different things and testing and testing and testing.
You know, it's funny and a little bit sad. My niece actually, her job
Mm-hmm.
is designing t-shirts for Aggieland Outfitters, which is
Really?
a store here.
Hmm.
And that's her job. She designs t-shirts.
That's fascinating. She does this all the time. We should have her on to a Tuesday night thing. She could
Yeah, I
share some.
can't afford her.
No, I'm sure. But if she would come on to one of our things, I would love to talk to her, get her words of wisdom.
I will ask her what if she would do that.
That would be super cool. Yeah, I'd be fascinated to hear what she says. Um,
Mhm.
yeah. And then, so basically, it's just a lot of this. So there's Etsy is a big one. Amazon's a big one. Another one to look on is Google, although it's not as easy to use as you would think. They've changed Google, of course, over the years. They're always changing all of these things. Um, but oh, I'm on Google. That was stupid. I'm on Google and then I just went to Google. All right, that was brilliant. I meant to put in horse t-shirt.
I'm glad you recorded that.
I'm sure you are. You're probably gonna clip that and then you're just gonna like play that, send it out to people, send it to me 1,000. Yeah, I know. I know. I know.
That is not a mischievous smile. No.
Look at that. Look at that. I know, right? She's got like horns coming up out of here. Yeah.
I have horns. I have spot.
Yeah. Right. Down. I know. I know. Um, so this is a popular one I've seen a lot. I like courses, not people. And again, this is organic listing. Um, and so you want to see what comes up at the top of these. This is that one with the horse and the heart and the horse head, right? That's popular. I like courses, not people. That's been a popular one for a while. We see this one again. So you just kind of start to see the same thing again and again. This one's a little interesting. Not sure what that is. It coming out of a moon? I don't know what that's happening there.
Sitting on a moon.
Something like that? I don't know.
Jumping over the moon.
Flowers. There's flowers under between him and the moon.
There is. I don't quite
Mhm.
that whole thing. But anyhow, whatever. So this is interesting. So here's one from Ariat. Now this would be another place to actually take a look at what's popular. Oh, what's the other one too? There's another retailer that I used to look at their catalogs all the time because I was like, they're looking at the same stuff I'm looking at because they would have their versions of all the popular things. But Ariat
Mm.
one to look at. You go because they're not selling stuff that isn't selling, right? So what they put on there for their t-shirts is definitely going to be the winning designs. Like you could almost just go to Ariat, make your own version of the designs they have as long as they're not trademarked, or you can always make your own, if it's your own version as long as it's not the same thing. Stop this. I don't want to give you my thing. Leave me alone. But that's another way to do it, right? So the moral of the story basically is don't try to like invent a brand new wheel. Just go and find out what wheels are selling, make your own version of it. Is really, I think that's the moral of the story. At least when you're starting, right? Now, after you do this for a year or two, then yeah, go ahead. And if you want to be more, like, okay, I'm pretty great at this and I think I have a new trend that I'm watching that I can do, fantastic, then go ahead and do that. But when you're starting, just, you know, just stick to what really seems to be working and what people are interested in buying. So most of their stuff are not t-shirts, so that's not good. There is another store, I can't remember. It's like a gifty horse store, and they have a lot of t-shirts. And if I can think of it, I'll let you guys know what it is, because they always seem to be. I think this is it. Back in the saddle. I think this is it.
Okay, so um charcuterie boards once the Kentucky Derby gets by, and t-shirts.
Yep.
Anything other than t-shirts that would be a good suggestion?
Yeah, I would start with I would start with just t-shirts. It's enough to get good at t-shirts before you try to do everything else. If you try to be good at all those things all at once, it's going to be, you're going to overwhelm yourself, I think. It's plenty. It's plenty. If you've got 5 t-shirts you're testing and then you're making designs and you're testing, like if you could do 5 t-shirts a week, design and test, I would say get into that first before you try to do a whole bunch of other things. Because yes, you can do mugs and you can do backpacks and I mean, there's a whole lot of different products you could do, but you can completely overwhelm yourself with stuff. And I just get the t-shirts right because they're very popular. T-shirts always sell. They're a nice price point, and
Okay.
just get really good at that first. That would be, I mean, you don't have to. If you want to do the other things, you can try. But to
No,
me,
no, like you said, that's what's popular, then that's what we do. I don't wear t-shirts at all, so.
okay, most people do, or hoodies, or sweatshirts, right? Or
And
leggings,
sweatshirt.
any of those kinds of things. Yeah, sweatshirts. So yeah, I mean, any of those things are just, I mean, that's a huge market right there. See, horses and dogs, right? So this back in the saddle, this is the one I was thinking of. These guys are doing all the same research that we're talking about here. And so I would look at what they do and do versions of this because they set, it's a big company, and it's worth testing anything that they're doing. I would definitely say that you could test. So yeah, that's basically it. So basically do the research, run the tests. When you find a winner, then we can throw some, some money at it. And honestly, with TikTok and stuff, you may not even need to throw money at it, but you probably will. Usually that's the way it works, is that when you find a real winner, then it makes sense to throw some money at it. But
I have a question, Tina. You mentioned testing. I really like this idea. First of all, I just wanted to say that I can't tell you how many times I've been browsing and been tempted to buy a t-shirt and had to refrain. So
yes.
it's a good idea. But how much are you spending on test ads? You guys may have already talked about this, so just I don't know, give me the brief summary of what testing looks like in this situation.
Yeah, good question. So testing in this particular situation is actually really not costing anything, because I would recommend that you test on things like Instagram, on TikTok, Facebook groups, places where you actually don't have to spend any money to test. And then once you find out something that does well on those and that's getting a good reaction and getting a lot of interest, then I would put a little bit of money, and I'm like $5 or $10 a day, maybe $5 a day, into some ads for a few days to see, if you can get some sales off of it. Or actually, you can also go the basically no cost route and put it on Etsy, where now selling things on Etsy is not just like you just slap it up there and like magically it sells, because there's a lot of competition there too. But if you learn how to do there's a lot of keyword research, a lot of SEO involved in selling well on Etsy. So if you get good at selling on Etsy, which isn't hard, it just takes a little bit of time, then you could really do a lot of this without ever pulling almost any money out of your own pocket. Margin, there's some a little bit of money that you have to pay Etsy every month to have listings on there, but it's like $1 or $2 or whatever, I can't remember, but it's nominal. But so you can do this for very close to $0. And that's what I would recommend. And then when you find a winning product, you're like, oh my gosh, everybody loves this. Like this one horse head in a heart shirt that I had that everybody loved. That was when I started putting money behind it, because those things just sold like they're sold. It made sense when you did the math behind, okay, if I spend $5 a day and I'm getting this many conversions and the math works for it, then you just start dumping more money into it, because you know, it's
Right.
a winning.
So so I'm on Facebook. So if I wanted to test something, an initial test, like you said, just putting it out there, would I be posting it out on the groups or on my page? Where would you test that? You said that the first test you put out, just a regular post for free. Um, what does that
Yeah.
look like?
Yeah, I would put it unless your page is getting a lot of traffic, which Facebook pages don't tend to these days get that much traffic. I would probably be posting that on groups, and you could post it on Facebook Marketplace, and that tends to get a lot of traffic. So that's probably where I would start with that.
Okay,
And
yeah, the marketplace is something that I actually, yeah, I kind of forgot that we could use that because we don't get to use that for advertising courses and services and whatnot.
right, exactly. Yeah, but you definitely could use it for that. And
Interesting.
yeah, and that's where I would start. You know, and like anything, it's just testing. And if you have Instagram, I would put it out there too. And especially what's very, very popular these days are short form videos, right? So if you do the vertical videos and you put it out on like stories and reels and whatnot, that can be a great way to get it out in front of a lot of people. Those tend to get pretty good reach.
Okay, cool. Well,
Yeah.
that's great. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, I'm happy to talk to you and happy to share any sort of knowledge I may have accumulated over the years
Mm.
or stolen. Right, Kristen? So anyhow, okay.
I
Any
have
other
some good
questions?
news for you guys. I have good news, good news. Kim should be joining us tomorrow.
Yay!
Great.
That is Kim. It's been so long. So good that she's feeling good and oh, yay. That is
Yay.
wonderful. Definite yay. We'll be very, very glad to have Kim back in the group.
Is
Always
she doing
Mhm.
okay? Is she all right?
Well, she's still not up to snuff, but she's better,
What
which is
happened?
good.
oh,
She had
shit.
surgery. She had
Oh,
surgery
I
on
didn't
something.
realize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
just a long recovery.
yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's too bad. I'm glad that she's doing better though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hope
all
she makes it tomorrow.
good. Yes, that would be lovely. She's always so much fun to have around and delightful and funny. Um, cool. So any other questions for now? Are we feeling pretty good and gonna go think about this and come back with more questions tomorrow? Is that probably the strategy? Yeah,
I've just got a dumb question, Tina.
I like
So,
it. What's
you like a dumb question? Okay. I bet I have more than one. So, if we were to come up with a design, a graphic design for a t-shirt, and we wanted to we'd have to go through Shopify to set up everything, right? And, or
For
is that right?
Printful.
Yeah,
Printful, okay, go Printful.
printful.
Printful, okay, Printful. Then they wouldn't produce it until we let them know that we had an order. Is that right?
That's
And
right.
and then we get paid and then they get paid, or how does that work? When does the payment go to them?
Yeah, so here's and that's a good question. So somebody places an order on your website or a website, depends. Let's say
Okay,
they order through your Shopify. So let's say you have a Shopify site and they order there. So their credit card gets charged immediately when they place their order, and then that goes into your
okay,
account. Now, depends if you're using Shopify payments for your credit card processor or Stripe for your credit card processor or somebody else. So it varies a
uh-huh,
little bit how quickly you get your money from them. But
okay,
usually it'll be 2 or 3 days before you get the money that somebody paid to you.
okay,
But when you place an order to Printful, so you get the order in and then you've got money sort of in hold that you got from the customer, but you need to place an order to Printful for the shirt, but Printful wants you to pay
okay,
them right away. So you do have probably a couple days in there where you're going to need to put the money, you're going to need to use your own money to pay Printful.
okay, all right,
then the money the customer paid you is going to hit your bank in a couple days. So you do have to be sure to have enough money to cover those the cost of what you
Okay.
have to pay.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Mhm.
If we're going to go from selling writing lessons, which at least in our state is not a taxable thing, to collecting sales tax and stuff, could we next week go over how to deal with that? Because I have not ever had to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not hard, but we will
No,
definitely.
but necessary. It's necessary.
Oh, yes, they will come and get you if you don't pay that tax. So definitely necessary. Yeah, the state doesn't play. They're actually pretty nice about it. All the states I've had to deal with have all been actually quite nice about it. But yeah, they definitely notice if you don't send in your tax forms. They will come knocking on your door. So we'll go over it. It's no problem.
Thank you.
So yeah, you're welcome. No problem. Cool. Well, I guess if that's it for now, then we'll break for the evening and we'll reconvene tomorrow at 8 and push on and bring all your questions and ideas and whatever sarcastic comments some people here might have, Kristen. You started laughing before I ever even had to mention her name. Well, shoe fits, right?
Fine.
You know it's coming. That's why we know.
So anyhow, all right. I love all you guys and
love all you
have
guys.
Love you.
I love you.
I
And
just
will
wish that after these meetings, I felt more relieved instead of more anxious.
Oh
anxious.
no.
Have us. We are here to help you. So do not feel like you're on your own because you are not. And we will all stick together and help each other. And it's fine. This is actually, honestly, I think at least to me, doing e-commerce is like a million times easier than doing horse training lessons, that business. This, once you learn how to do e-commerce, it kind of goes on, it's not quite autopilot, but it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty simplistic in
Yeah.
my opinion. Way less,
Sweet.
less variables. You know, when you're
I
running a
can
whole
see
farm,
that. I
there's
can see that once it's all set up, then it would go smoother. It's
kind of runs.
just nerve-wracking portion.
Yes, but we're here for you. We will hold your hand. We've done this. Krista and I have done this a lot. And so yeah, don't worry.
Yeah, I get chest pains just thinking about it.
Oh, stop it,
worry.
Lisa.
It's all
No.
good. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. And you got
You're gonna be fine. We're all gonna be fine. We have Tina. Come on now.
fine.
You
And
do.
it'll be fun. You'll love it. And lots of money to be made in this. Remember, this is the growing business. So we love e-commerce. Big money to be made. People in
It's like right. It's like you're in full and you're gonna have this baby horse coming here. Only it's your commerce store and it'll be making you money
Yeah,
be-
without
except that
you doing
my
much.
mare carries the foal and all I have to do is feed her.
this
Well,
time
okay.
but we're gonna help you make the
What
foal.
you said.
We're all pregnant with your foal.
Yeah. There we go.
Yes.
Okay. Have you had a chance to look at my Shopify store yet, Tina?
I have not had a chance to look at your Shopify store.
Just asking.
Yeah, I have not, but I will in the next day, 2 days. Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Of course. My pleasure. All right. We shall reconvene tomorrow. We are, what did they say?
Okay. Sweet dreams, everybody. Thank
Good
you.
night.
Love
Good night.
you. Good to
Love you
see you,
guys.
Lisa.
Bye.